Welcome to the unhinged corner of the justice system. Today's case is one of the wildest I've seen in a while. Meet Turegua Inaru, a woman so immature and chaotic you'd swear she was generated by an LLM trained on nothing but true crime subreddits and expired Xanax prescriptions. Let's start this dumpster fire with Turegua's job. Turegua used to be a babysitter, but she can't do that anymore due to her sister having reported her for battery.
But yeah, so this sucks, and then because of like what my sister did, now I have that record online of battery, and so like my other job, which was as a nanny and babysitter, now that shows up in my background report. So I've literally I lost both of my sources of income.
Now you'll notice she mentioned she's lost both of her jobs. We know babysitting is one, what's the other? Glad you asked. This woman, who cannot handle babysitting a single child without becoming violent, tried her hand at working at Disneyland. Now, just how did she get fired from the happiest place on earth? She allegedly started threatening to kill her coworkers. You know, real team building stuff. But, of course, according to Turegua, none of this is her fault. She was just a noble whistleblower. According to her, one of her male coworkers, whom she retrospectively makes very clear is not her type, accused her of harassment. But he was the creep. He was the perv, he was the school shooter in waiting. He was a weak, small guy who's also creepy and weird. And after she rejected him, she overheard him say that he wanted to shoot up Disneyland.
Just like kind of creepy and weird. And so I still feel like he maybe said it for attention, but he was saying like that he wanted to shoot people. And so like on the off chance that he maybe is serious about that, like I didn't want anyone to like get hurt because I didn't say something.
Turegua claims she heroically reported this man to Disney. Disney responded by firing her, so of course she's the victim. It's just one big mix-up. And despite being a mix-up, somehow the police found written death threats from Turegua, which landed her in jail. And if that were where the story ended, we'd file it under Florida moment number 306 and move on. But no, this is where the plot goes off the rails, hard. Shortly after her arrest, the cops discover something else. Turns out, Turegua wasn't just sitting in jail twiddling her thumbs, she was allegedly recruiting a hitman. Now, you probably know where this is going, and you're wrong. Here's the twist. The hitman Turegua was seeking wasn't for the revenge on that creepy Disney coworker or even on the Disney executives that fired her. Nope, it was for her entire family. Her parents, her grandparents, the whole bloodline. Why? Allegedly abuse, and also a $2 million inheritance. Totally unrelated, I'm sure. Oh, and she also wanted the prosecutor on her Disney threats case murdered. And his family too. We're talking a kill list longer than a diner menu. Now, Turegua wasn't just asking for any hitman. No, she wanted an ex-Navy SEAL. Budget? $50K a kill. Which she'd happily pay once she gets her microphone. Budget? $50K a kill, which she'd happily pay once she gets her inheritance. She could have asked me, as I graduated top of my class in the Navy SEALs, and I've been involved in numerous secret raids on Al-Qaeda, and I have over 300 confirmed kills. I'm trained in guerrilla warfare, and I'm the top sniper in the entire US Armed Forces. At this point, someone in jail tipped off the police. Their warning? She's crazier than a sack of wild weasels. Charming. But it gets better. That prosecutor she allegedly wanted dead, he starts getting emails, threatening ones. They all seem to have come from burner email accounts. Guess who the prime suspect is? So the cops do what any self-respecting, conspiracy-sniffing detectives would. They plant an undercover cop in the jail as a fellow inmate. What happens next? Turegua spills her plan directly to the officer. She just pitched him the job straight up. Kill my family, kill the prosecutor, live happily ever after with the blood money. And you might be thinking, surely this is the end of it, right? Wrong. I have two words for you. Paw Patrol.
But I was told that, but then another officer told me like, no, that was like Paw Patrol. And so that's what I had already told the investigator from Paw Patrol. I don't quite know like all the differences between the rankings or whatever. Probably just Paw Patrol, which is like do you know like the people that go like when you make a call They said Paw Patrol is like when you make a call to someone, and then like the officer that comes to the door is not actually like an investigator level.
Wait, no, not Paw Patrol. I have 2 words for you. Big conspiracy.
When I spoke to my lawyer about it yesterday, that's when he said like that. He said that like the government and just like the police and the prosecutor's office is corrupt, and that what they do sometimes is that they'll have people that will act as like informants, and sometimes it's like a false informant, and then they'll use the hearsay of multiple people as a form of evidence.
Chiregua's lawyer floats the idea that all of this, the threats, the murder for hire, the incriminating emails, are all part of a coordinated takedown.
I spoke with my lawyers yesterday. They said not to talk to the deputies, like I said, I had wanted to, and like I had asked to like speak to the deputies and have it recorded so that my words could be accurate for what was said. But then my lawyer said, like, you're trying to do everything right, but you're not supposed to do that. Okay. So I don't really know what to do.
Spoiler alert, Chiregua trusts her lawyers so much that she ignores their advice to remain silent. After all, why shut up when you can monologue? Which, thankfully for us, means we get to witness 2 of the most surreal police interviews in recent memory. Let's roll the tape. First, the Disney death threats, and then how to hire a hitman while broke and incarcerated. Grab your popcorn, this one's a ride.
No, that it's not an investigator, that's the Paw Patrol.
How are you doing?
Better times
Doing
now.
better?
Oh yeah, much better.
Okay.
Got stuff sorted out on that front.
Okay, that's good. So what happened with this Disney thing?
Oh yeah, so yeah, I work at Disney, and honestly, I wasn't even sure if the right thing was to report it, because I don't want to waste anybody's time, but I'll just kind of say the whole story. Just let me know if you have any questions or need me to clarify anything. So basically, I was working with this guy, and one day he started acting like he was going to commit a mass shooting, but it seemed like it was all done for attention because there was like no gun, and he was kind of just like mouthing off about politics and Disney. And he was kind of only saying things to me, like he wanted specifically my attention. And the way I had interpreted it was just a guy that was kind of like desperate for female attention. Either way, I told Disney about it and about some of the stuff they were saying, and they never did anything about it. Anyway, that was like a month ago, or 2 months ago or something. I continued going to work. And then he basically came out and like reported me for sexual harassment, and this was like 2 days after he made a move on me. Specifically, he like made a pelvic thrust motion one day and was just like saying he had something for me, and I told him that I had strong feelings for someone else and that I was actually getting ready to hang out with someone else from work. And then it was like 2 days later, all of a sudden, I walk into work and I'm told that I'm being reported for sexual harassment against him. And anyway, so now I'm like dealing with this whole thing with Disney, and like a couple days ago, my friend saw him at work, and he said that he was being aggressive with people and that he was like pushing them and like being violent. And so that just made me like want to report something, because that's not really who he is. Like he's usually like just a quiet, nerdy guy who is not like really aggressive, just like kind of creepy and weird. Mm-hmm. And so I still feel like he maybe said it for attention, but he was saying like that he wanted to shoot people. And so like on the off chance that he maybe is serious about that, like I didn't want anyone to like get hurt because I didn't say something.
How long ago was that he said these things?
That was like a month and a half ago.
And what exactly like was he saying?
So we work at the Walt Disney Presents Theater, and he was basically just talking about wanting to emulate like some like mass shootings that have occurred in theaters, and saying that violence is sometimes the answer, and that Disney needed to learn a lesson, and that his last straw was when Disney like refused to fix these lights that were in the theater. Yeah. So.
And you reported it to Disney?
To Disney, yeah.
Like, what part of Disney? Like your manager?
Yeah, just... I honestly don't even know what the chain of command is called, but the people that are above me, they're managers, coordinators, etc. The people that handle complaints.
You never told Orange County about it?
No, I didn't. Because he really just seemed to me like someone that just needed to talk to someone. Like I said, he really didn't seem serious. Like he's a married man with kids, and he just seemed like just kind of weird. And I didn't really seem like genuine.
And are you guys still talking?
Not at all, because like I said, after I like turned him down, like his sexual advances, then all of a sudden he falsely reported me for sexual harassment.
Did you tell them what he was doing to you?
I did. I told him everything. And there's like an investigation going on. At first, Disney tried to fire me because they take sexual harassment investigations seriously, but when I provided them some screenshots and text messages, they then reversed the termination. But I'm still the one who's being suspended. Meanwhile, he's still at work, and now apparently he's being aggressive with people. And so I guess I'm just trying to do everything that I can in case he was serious, because I really don't know. I don't even know the guy that well.
Hold on. Do you know his full name?
Yeah.
Do you know his birthday?
I don't. I just know he's in his 30s.
Do you know where he lives?
No, I barely know the guy. I was just trying to be nice to him by telling him he could talk to me anytime if he wanted to.
Right. His first name, last name, and then do you have his phone number? No.
I don't know the guy. I didn't want the guy, never sexually harassed the guy, but I could also write down where we work, if that would help.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we work at the Walt.
I've worked at Disney since April.
So around that time, but then I was out of work for like 3 months. But I've been with the company since April.
But how long have you known him?
The same time.
So since April?
Yeah.
How long? So you guys frequently see each other at work?
Not frequently, because I usually work at 2 locations, and I'm usually scheduled at the Star Wars location, so I only occasionally work at the Walt Disney Presents location. Like I've literally probably worked there less than like maybe like 5 times max.
Southside version out at
So you've only worked with him like 5 days?
Yeah, literally.
But you have no pictures of him, nothing?
I could show you a picture of him because he's like a filmmaker. So he has like this website. Just a second. Yeah, that's like a side view of him.
Nothing from the front?
I can find it. Alright, so I've tried to tell them multiple times. The first time was in this very long letter I sent on January 2nd. See, it's a paragraphs long letter, and it got them to reverse my suspension, but they still have the guy. And so I literally say right here that employee attempted to commit a mass shooting in the Walt Disney Presents Theater was still employed, and that was on January 2nd.
You said who attempted?
Attempted, but honestly, like I said, he didn't have a gun, and he was just saying like that he was gonna do something and that he was being
So he
violent.
didn't
But
attempt, just threatened.
yeah, it was a threat, and I followed up saying that I feel like he just did all this for attention. But I don't even know what's going on and like why they're not taking this seriously, because even if someone is like just talking about it, like, so that was on January 2nd, and then I've just like sent them, like it says right here, like 14 messages like trying to talk to them. And a couple of them I was very angry and cursing, but yeah, it's all here.
Who
And
you were cursing?
a couple of times I was just like, this is so infuriating, and I sent them pictures and stuff, and I told them they were stupid. But yeah, so
So you want suspension?
so yeah, I'm on suspension, and then they said that they were going to terminate me, and then when I sent them that many paragraphs letter explaining the situation in its entirety, they reversed my termination and said they were going to continue investigating, but I'm being suspended without pay. Meanwhile, he who was saying these things was still being paid and still working.
Right.
So I asked them, I was like, why did you suspend me without pay instead of him?
Yeah.
Like, none of it makes sense. Like, that's the thing that is just like pissed me off about this. None of this makes sense. And I even told them, I was like, is there a reason why the Walt Disney Company is avoiding putting the details of this investigation into writing? And I told them I consent to making this investigation against me like completely public, because I'm willing to answer that I didn't sexually harass this guy. Like, why won't you talk about my claims against this guy? Why won't you put it into writing? That was on January 2nd. I haven't received like any response except them saying that I wasn't terminated anymore. And they wanted to talk to me some more.
Did they make a like tell you when to go and talk to them, or?
See, it's so weird. This guy who's like a custodian tagged me, the union, and then the proprietor of operations, this woman, her name is Kathy Joe, he tagged us in an email and said, like, there's a meeting for you. And he told me like the day before, but I'm just like, I'm interviewing for other jobs now. You guys, I haven't been like working in a month, you know? And so it's just like, now you're expecting me to cancel my interview with other jobs, and you're telling me like the day before. One time, this guy, again, who's a custodian, he sent me a text 2 hours before a meeting and said, Disney wants to meet with you in a couple hours. Can you do that? And I'm just like, no, I'm not just like at Disney's beck and call, like 2 hours. You know, you text me when I was sleeping. Like, so this whole thing has just been like so like crazy.
223 and 224.
I don't know how they operate this way. And I responded to them the same day, saying that I wasn't going to be available. So yeah.
And they haven't.
And then there's been no response to that letter, and I sent them more like pictures and like screenshots and stuff, and
Screenshots of what?
just the guy, and then the guy I actually liked, and yeah, I kind of went a little crazy. And I was just like, this is the hot guy that I like. It's not this guy. So I kind of said some embarrassing things since I was so frustrated. Because it's just really upsetting, like being told like you like this guy and like you want this guy, you know. And the worst part is like Disney, like they say that they want to support you there, so Disney actually knows that about like the depression that I was going through, and they know about like what happened like with my sister and my family, and that they know that I'm like a survivor of like a serious crime. And so for the fact that Disney knows all of this, and they know about what I went through, and they know about my background, and now they're literally, all it takes is like a fake report from a guy.
Keep going.
And this whole story is even more convoluted because I literally told him, I was like, you know, if you're upset about the way things are in society, you can get involved in politics. And like me, for example, like I'm involved with politics, and like I support, you know, I have the candidates I support for president, and I was encouraging to get involved. And I told him like a couple times, I was like, you know, if you want to get involved, let me know. If you want to, you know, just let me know.
You called him?
And I thought, oh no, this is my sign that represents my candidate.
Oh.
She's Hawaiian, and so she goes like that. And so he twisted the story to the extent that he told management that I said, if you want to, let me know, and that was me trying to come on to him. That's how much he's twisted the story. And so this whole thing has just been like, it's honestly kind of felt mentally abusive, like with the way that he twisted the story and like made it seem like I want him.
So y'all only worked together 5 times, and then in those 5 times, he's tried to touch you. Is that what you're saying?
He didn't try to touch me, but he just like made like a stupid move where he was just like, I have something for you, and I was just like, not interested. Also, I don't really take stuff like that seriously. So, and then I just told him that, you know, there's this guy I have really strong feelings for, and we're supposed to hang out.
Does the other guy work at Disney as well?
Yeah.
Talked to him since?
Kind of. But I mean, Disney has this thing called the college program, and so people, they work at Disney for like a couple months, or like this guy worked there for a year, and then they go back where they came from. And so that guy went back to New Zealand. So that kind of sucks. And then this whole thing happened right at the end of his program, so it also ruined the last couple of days that I would have worked together with this guy, which sucked. So this whole situation just sucks, like, on so many levels. But yeah, we were supposed to hang out. We ended up not hanging out, but yeah. I don't think liked that we were supposed to hang out. But again, like I told the other officer, this guy's literally like a married guy with kids. Like, I don't remember if he has one or two, but like, he's just like a creepy guy.
Oh, why are you saying creepy?
Because of all the stuff he said.
Okay.
And it was upsetting too because like
Or for since 111,
it seemed like the
and
people
close
that
about fuck front.
took his report, like they could kind of tell that it was a lie, but they were like going through with it anyway. I don't know if that's like the process of
Wait,
like,
what are you talking about?
oh, just like when he reported me for sexual harassment, it's kind of like they knew it was a lie, but that's like the process of when you report someone, like even if it's fake, like you have to go through like this whole process, and now it's like on me. Like I was like, wait, so you're saying that it's on me to prove that I'm not guilty instead of like you're innocent until proven guilty? Like this doesn't even make sense. And like I just showed him a picture, and I just feel like a picture's worth 1,000 words, and I was like, this is my type. Not sure if you could tell there's like a world of difference between those two guys. And like some people were even laughing like in the room, like when I was just like telling them like, that I didn't want that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Here, 21.
Like,
Possible smell 22, please, no 25.
despite all this, I still think 2020 is going to be my year because I just applied for school again, so I'm going back to school.
School.
It's called Maharishi International, and I'm waiting to see if I officially get accepted, but I have a really, really good feeling about it. And
What are you studying?
consciousness and human potential. So, we're officially studying like yoga and Buddhism and meditation, which is really important to me.
So you haven't found anything yet? Any jobs?
Yeah, like I had an interview with Universal, but then I didn't. There's supposed to be a second interview, didn't get a follow up for that. But then I'm also like looking at jobs out of state at this point. For school.
Where's the school?
It's in Iowa. I don't want to move to Iowa, but that sounds really boring. But if I have to, so I wouldn't even be here that much longer anyway. But
By when do you know if you get accepted?
in 2 weeks. But I really am like involved in politics. Like the stuff I was telling you, I was like, if you're upset at anything about society, like you can just take that energy and like get politically involved. So I was actually wanting to join like one of the campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my dream job, basically.
For campaigning?
Yeah, I worked on a campaign before.
What campaign?
I worked on the Obama campaign.
What do you do?
Talk to voters,
Sure, it's awesome.
and register them, and enter data into computers, and talk to more voters.
Do you like doing that?
97, search in 0.
It was really stressful because I cared a lot and I really wanted him to win, and so I like would overthink everything, but I did really like it, and I just think it's important. Like, if you see something that you feel like is not going right in the country, then you can use your voice and try to talk to people, and that's what I've always believed. That just care about people and talk to them and share your passion and your beliefs, and you can make change even if you disagree with someone. Just have a conversation. So
What did I say?
Oh, that's Tulsi. Tulsi, she's the one. She always does aloha and does that symbol. So I like her, and then I like Andrew
For
Yang.
president?
Yeah. Do you keep up with the politics at all? It's really stressful.
Not really.
Yeah.
You keep up with all of them?
I've started, yeah, in the past few months I've gotten pretty involved.
Which one's your least? Like the one you don't like?
My least favorite?
Yeah.
I would say the Democrats that are running right now, I don't like Pete Buttigieg. I feel like when he talks about being inclusive towards all people, like it seems like really empty and like he's just saying what everyone wants to hear. And so I just think he comes across as really insincere to me. And I actually find him to be really disrespectful in that way. And then he doesn't address criticism directly. Like he always talks around questions and just goes back to saying we all need to be in this together. And it's like, why can't you answer a question, a direct question? So I don't like him. But the ones I really like are Tulsi and Andrew Yang.
4909 now.
Those are my two top candidates. So I applied for Andrew Yang to work with his campaign, and then I'm applying for Tulsi's as well. And so whoever hires me is who I'll work for if I get selected.
But is that like only temporary because of until their campaign's over?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So they fund all those things? Like Tulsi will pay for people to work in every state?
Not every state. Usually just like the battleground states. So like Florida's a huge battleground state. And then right now they're hiring a lot of people in Iowa. Because Iowa is where they do the first caucusing, first polling. So that's like in 23 days, I think, in February, if I remember correctly. It's all coming up really fast. Sometimes I wish that life could just press the pause button and so I could catch up.
Seven. That's all units 22633 on West 22. Back to your 20, just confirming it is 4909. Citizen Court for FD as well.
Their neighbors, one asked for 4907, the other neighbor is 4909. So, sure which one he is.
Oh.
Both of them wait. Rip.
Yeah, so next time someone makes threats like that, you should just go to Orange County or whatever county you're in. Yeah. Especially if it's like to shoot Disney. It's probably something they wanna know, you know.
Yeah, it's my own fault for just feeling like I could help someone, I guess. And I understand now that I should have reported him that same day.
Huh?
I understand now that I should have reported him that same day. I guess I'm kind of desensitized because like I've worked around like schizophrenic people and like really like crazy people. So yeah, I think I'm just desensitized and people think I'm really understanding, so they just talk to me. But yeah, I learned my lesson. I mean, I literally got suspended from my job.
Yeah. Well, when he said it, you said you thought he was like joking around.
I felt like it was kind of like, you know how guys sometimes will kind of play like the mopey role, and it's kind of like they want a woman to like comfort them by kind of like playing like, and then it's like you're supposed to comfort them. It kind of felt like it was coming more from that kind of place, but it's just so frustrating because this guy is like married and he has like kids, and it's like he shouldn't be acting like that, but I mean, I just don't even know what to do in situations like that except to just try to be nice to someone and talk to them.
Seriously, on.
But, you know, when I told Disney about it, though, I used really strong language. And
Signal 68, Sunday Zone 25
again, I
at
don't
Santos
think
Road.
it
I don't know
was
if it's being ready
serious,
or not.
but I tried to tell them in as serious terms as
South,
possible.
23.
And they still didn't take it seriously,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Right.
So,
Let me pick up.
No.
so I don't know. And now, like, my friend said that he was, like, pushing people and, like, being, like, kind of angry and violent. And, like, that was not really, like I said, that's something, like, he's not really known for. Like, he's just kind of, like, the quiet, kind of weird guy that no one talks to, but he doesn't, like, push and shove people. So that was just kind of, like I said, like, a red flag for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I hear you, and I learned my lesson. I'm an idiot, and I should have just reported him to the police and live in.
Yeah, because like the pushing stuff, that would have to be like the people who got pushed. They'd have to call about that.
Yeah.
Well, because if not, we have no victims.
Yeah.
So now the shooting thing, that you can
25
report
though.
to whatever agency you're at.
Yeah.
17 cents off if you want main SO.
Yeah, my friend, he wasn't, like, concerned about it. Like, I mean, he's like a weak, small guy, but he was, like, telling me because he was, like, seeing that as, like, a red flag, and he's like, and you were the one that talked to him, you know, you should probably pass this along because that seems like an escalating behavior of, like, he's getting more unhinged. So that was why he told me about it, but not
And your friend
because
works at
he
Disney?
got hurt, yeah.
And they haven't reported it to Disney. They just wanted to tell you.
Yeah, I don't think he reported anything to Disney, but he said like he wanted to file a formal complaint. The whole situation is weird because, like I said, like it's kind of like no one takes this guy seriously. But then at the same time,
Patrol
it's like,
114, you will be in Southern
should
Region.
someone be allowed to say these things
No.
in the first place? Like, is it even okay to say these things at all?
Mm-hmm.
So. And then obviously it's not okay to make up false reports of sexual harassment. So I told I don't think I would have to get to the point where I would sue, but I would if I had to. But no one believes him. Like this whole thing is really so stupid. Like, because I was telling the other officer, was like, consent's so important to me, and like, you know, especially you would know, you were there during that time where I like discovered that I'm like a victim of like the worst crime that's imaginable. And so I literally another thing that I'm doing is like I was studying to be a formal sex educator. And so like the fact that someone would accuse me of sexual harassment, like it becomes deeply offensive, like on like a really inner level, because of what I've been through. And so luckily no one believes this guy, but it's really frustrating that anyone could just say something about someone. And it couldn't be like more ridiculous. Like he's like really, like I've said this to management. I'm like, not to be disrespectful, but he is not attractive. Like how did anyone believe this for a second? And I do feel really embarrassed because I cursed at them, and I at one point I was like, he is so effing ugly. Like how are you guys believing this? And I'm really embarrassed that I said those things, but it's just so frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you end up going back to Disney. If anything like that happens again, you should just be the first person to
Be the first person. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, not yeah. No, you're totally right. I will be not be the try to be the bigger person, but
She's like, down, Billy, you can sign me the 68.
So,
I really hate losing my cool, like, because it takes a lot to get me to curse and to scream at anybody. So I always get so embarrassed after, like, I curse at someone, or it doesn't happen often. Maybe less people would try me if I actually, was like a more aggressive person.
Mm-hmm. So you guys just showed Disney movies all day long.
So the way it works at that location is like the movie is like 16 minutes long, and every 16 minutes it just plays again and again and again all day. So that's our One Man's Dream is the name of the film, and it's about the life and legacy of Walt Disney. And then sometimes if a Disney movie is coming to theaters soon, like we'll have a preview of it, like with a couple clips from the movie. So like we had Frozen 2 at the theater for a while, and we had Aladdin. So that's the way it works. And I don't like when we get the trailers or the movie previews, because I feel like you could just see that, like just go to the movie and see the whole movie. And like when Toy Story came, we had like literally like a 20-something minute preview of Toy Story. But it's like One Man's Dream, you can only find that at the Walt Disney Presents Theater. I'm a little passionate about it because I really feel like we should always have One Man's Dream there, because it's just, you can only have that at Disney. But yeah, but I also, like I said, I don't work at that location very often.
Mm-hmm.
I usually work at Star Wars.
What do you do at Star Wars?
Mostly just talk to guests and tell them where to go and just like entertain them. Just like if you're waiting online, talk to the kid, maybe give them a sticker or something like that. Just make jokes and ask them if they're on the light side or the dark side. So,
Have you watched all the Star Wars?
I have, but like I'm not as obsessed with Star Wars as I am with like Harry Potter. So I don't know like all the details and all the planets, but I'm working on it. Because I really do think Star Wars is super cool. Did you see the last movie? Did you watch it at all?
No.
Yeah. No, Star Wars is cool.
Do you have to like dress up as a character, or like in their clothing that they wear?
Kind of. Like we kind of look like Jedis with our costume.
Mm-hmm. So you have 2 costumes.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so this sucks, and then because of like what my sister did, now I have that record online of battery, and so like my other job, which was as a nanny and babysitter, now that shows up on my background report. So I've literally I lost both of my sources of income.
Reference to 68,
And I just have to tell myself that I got this tested. So
Is that dropped, or?
it's dropped. Like she dropped the charges like immediately, like she regretted it. But the way apparently it works is that once you make charges, you actually can't drop them right away, and it's up to the prosecutor. And so they just keep rescheduling a court date and like resetting it, and the prosecutor, whoever they are, hasn't decided whether they want to drop their charges or not. But it's like my sister didn't even have a choice of whether she wanted to drop them. Like it was out of her hands.
Mm-hmm. Because it's domestic.
Yeah, so this whole thing just really sucks. Like I'm not the kind of person who ever says like, woe is me, I'm a victim. I actually don't believe in that. But like at some point you have to say like, I kind of got a bad hand here. Like, this all really sucks. Like I'm like a magnet for crazy stuff. I'm just like, I don't know. Like my family is doing okay now, but It's just really crazy, like going your whole life and like everyone knows a secret about you and like no one told you. And it was like such a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like even now, it's like we've all moved on, and I had a couple conversations with my dad that was just me and him one-on-one. But there's some family members that are like long distance. I don't even talk to them anymore. And like, it's like everyone, when they talk about it, like, which doesn't really happen often, but if it's ever mentioned, they just say, oh, that thing that happened. And they just kind of talk around it. And it's like, I don't know, it's just weird. Yeah, honestly, because I didn't work in a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I just have like the kind of personality that people open up to me. And so at one point he did mention like not really wanting to be like alive. And so that was also part of why I was kind of just like, this more seems like someone like crying out for help
Mm-hmm.
um, than anything else. But then you never know. You never really know, I guess.
When did he say that?
That was that day.
Like, what specifically did he say?
Specifically, just like general comments, like it was so long ago, but things along the lines of life is meaningless.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did he specifically say, like, I want to kill myself, or?
no, not that he wanted to kill himself, but just comments like about, like why is life meaningless, or like society sets us up to be slaves to the system, or we're all stuck inside the matrix, so what's the purpose of life, things like that.
Mm-hmm. So since you're suspended, you can't really go to the park either? Like, you can't use your tickets or anything?
Yeah, they took away my main gate passes. Yeah, so I mean, I could go as a visitor, like I'm not banned or anything, but yeah, they took away my main gate passes.
And your ID and
My
everything?
ID, yeah. And they did that, and that was after I was reported Brandon for violence. So they made the decision to suspend me instead of them. Yeah, Disney isn't really the happiest place on earth.
No?
No. Because I actually had a suicide attempt earlier this year.
Yeah.
So it's just, and there's just so much like bullying, in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
It's been hard. And I always get onto myself for like not being a stronger person after letting people's comments and stuff get to me.
I don't know why they're taking so long.
My friend's just waiting for me so we could go to the beach and watch the
G12, so.
Is she here right now?
Yeah,
Hello?
but I told her that.
Wait, can you want back to the 22, zone 26?
Yeah, I'm sorry because I feel like earlier, now that my heart rate has calmed down before, I realized that I was having an anxiety attack while I was talking to you guys, so I was probably like a little bit agitated.
So bad.
Like I literally threw up this morning. Like I try extremely hard to be strong, to identify when I'm having an anxiety attack.
When you called, it showed that you had a no contact order. Like, still valid. The old case your papers there.
What does that mean?
In court, they should have told you that you weren't allowed to come back.
Oh yeah, they mentioned that everything was dropped. So the weird thing about when I went to the jail and everything, like they told me that everything was dropped because of the situation. But then when they released me, like no one ever like they didn't give me like any paperwork or anything. And they were just like, don't worry about it. And they just like kind of, and then they ended up sending me to the Parks place for mental health treatment, which I ended up not taking like any medication or anything like that. And then after 3 days, I was released. But yeah,
So they didn't give you any paperwork? You're saying?
there was like they gave me one paper that was just basically saying that I was there, and then it had that they had my clothing or whatever, my phone that they took from me. But then they didn't give me like any other paperwork. And then I've been getting like these notices in the mail about court dates. But then when we call, like me and my sister called the person they told us to call, victim advocate, her name's Rebecca. We called them in the Florida State's office, and they're like, oh, don't worry about it. You don't need to go to court. The prosecutor just needs to make a decision on your case, but she's going to do that. And then the court, it kept getting like reset or rescheduled, and they just said not to worry about it. And so and again, I've never been through any of this process before, so I have no idea how any of this goes. But me and my sister, like we've both been like trying to get everything dropped, and we just say like, oh, it's up to the prosecutor now. So,
I still want to talk to you more about it, but after we do the thing.
oh, sure.
You have the right to remain silent, do you understand?
Yes,
Anything you say may be against you in court, do you understand?
yes,
You are entitled to talk to a lawyer before and during questioning, do you understand?
yes,
If you cannot afford a lawyer and want one, will be provided before and or during questioning without charge, do you understand?
yes.
Knowing this, you still want to talk to me.
Yeah, I guess so.
So when you left the jail, you're saying they didn't give you any papers? Well, didn't you have to see the judge? So it was domestic?
There was a judge that I saw when I was at the jail. I don't know if they were technically a judge, but whoever the judge at the jail was, and there's like this computer TV screen, and you can see like a person at least that looks like a judge. And they said, they're like, due to the details of this case, we advise that everything be dropped, is what they said. And I remember there was like a back and forth between the woman and the judge where they were just like, wait, what? This is the weirdest case like we've ever seen. And they were just kind of going back and forth. And then my understanding was that everything was dropped. And then I ended up being discharged from jail and taken to the Parks Place Behavioral Center for mental health treatment instead.
By the order of the judge? Or
I don't know if it was the order of the judge or not. I don't remember that part. I was like so confused, and I was like, can someone explain to me like what any of this stuff means? But they were just like, don't worry about it, and back to the cell, and here's some food. And
so when you got out of the jail, they gave you paper.
I have the paper that they gave me in my house still, I believe. It was just saying that here's like your phone, like just a copy of like my belongings, but it wasn't explaining anything that happened. Yeah.
But they didn't give you, like you said, they keep sending you mail, but the court date keeps
Getting reset.
Yeah. But the attorney won't drop it or whatever.
Yeah, they said like don't even worry about attending the court, like the date that the prosecutor just needs to decide whether to drop it. And I think they said one of the times she got sick or something, and then the court date was reset twice.
Court date?
The next one is on the 31st at 8:15.
But you guys aren't showing up, right?
They said not to worry about it, but I mean, if it would be better to show up, then I will. It seems like everyone's like information like is all
like
over.
on our computer it's showing that you're not allowed to be here, because it's the domestic violence charge, and they hasn't taken that out yet. And nobody like at the jail they didn't say anything about you not being able to return. Like the judge didn't say anything about that.
Oh no, not at all. And then I just I've been here ever since. Yeah, my sister was actually trying to get me out like the whole time.
What do you mean get you out?
Like she said that she wanted to like get me out, but that they wouldn't let her.
The jail?
Wouldn't let her contact me, and I didn't have anybody's number by heart, and so I wasn't able to contact anyone. So it's kind of like no communication. Well, so after my sister made the charges, which was really just out of anger, she tried to drop them like right away, and we've been trying to drop them, but they keep telling us that the prosecutor, like it's up to them, up to that person whether they drop them, and so we've literally called like multiple times, like both of us, and
Who's it with?
what do you mean?
The no contact order.
Oh, it's with my sister. So I've been living here because like when I got out of jail, no one gave me, I guess I was told that they should have given me a paper on it, but the only paper that they gave me was like a list of my belongings. And then when I spoke to the judge, like at the jail, they said that everything was dropped because of the nature of the case and like what had happened to me. And so they wanted to send me to Park Place for mental health treatment so I could be seen by someone because of the trauma I'd been through. So no one ever gave me any paperwork telling me that there was a no contact order or anything like that. And my sister thought that the charges were dropped.
Romeo, 51
And I kept getting like letters to see for arraignment or whatever. I've never been through any of this process, so I barely know these words or what they mean.
I know exactly what you're trying to say.
Okay, so I called and they were just
The judge should have told you though that y'all have no contact. That's usually like how they end.
No, because they said like everything was dropped. Like when I talked to like the judge person.
Well, if everything was dropped, there wouldn't be a no contact order, and I guess there is one.
Yeah, I honestly don't know because they were just. I remember they went back and forth where the judge and then the woman that was in the room with me. I don't know what her name was, but they went back and forth. They're like, "This is the weirdest case ever," but everything is dropped. Like just this person needs mental health treatment. They need to be seen by someone because of what happened.
Yep.
So
with this, since it's domestic, you'll have to see a judge again, and then just explain the story, and hopefully just like
It'll probably be the same judge.
So like, how long am I going to be in the jail for?
I mean, since it is domestic, you don't have a bond. So you'll have to wait till the morning till you see a judge. But if it's dropped, then
Then they'll
they're
just,
just
like-
gonna let you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
If they just made a mistake and didn't take it out the system.
but I'm just worried because like then they said something about like now it's up to the prosecutor, and so that
I need to speak to the judge and say, I thought all this was dropped. That's why I was with my sister.
I just wish that I had like paperwork or something, because yeah, they didn't give me anything.
I don't know. I
like-
wasn't there, so I can't speak on behalf on who gave you what, but there should have been some kind of injunction served. Because if it's active in our system, then
What's an injunction?
like a no contact order.
Pretty
Same
much telling you you're like you can't be here, you can't talk to her. Blah,
Within
blah.
so many feet, phone, no contact whatsoever.
Oh man, it's so crazy because yeah, we've living together. You see,
Yeah.
you know.
So today you're gonna have to come with me. Unfortunately, but that's because it's active and it's domestic. I can't just leave you here and something happens and it's our fault, you know?
No, I mean I know it's not your fault. I just really wish, because like again, I'm like if there's something that I need to do, like I just wish they would have told me like here's the papers and just
It
make
was
sure you do this.
It's active.
Say in there.
It is.
It should say who served it. You know?
Judge.
What does served mean?
So the judge did give it to you.
I don't know. Yeah, I just said case number, like the court case number, and then the judge. I want to say it's like,
Nope. Can't beat that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully you talk to the same judge and let her know, or
There was a guy, and I remember they said there were two different things, and I don't remember like what they were, but I just remember them saying like that both things were dropped, that they just wanted me to go to Park Place.
I don't know. Well, unfortunately, you got to go. I wasn't expecting that when I came here. I didn't even know it was with you.
I'll give you your jacket. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry we couldn't. We wanted to go to the beach and be under the full moon.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay.
Take care.
Alrighty.
You'll be out.
How it goes.
You ain't got nothing to worry about.
Well, I mean that's what they said last time.
Nice meeting you too.
You're around.
Hopefully this time you just talk to the judge and be like, hey, like, you know, all your questions. Let it out.
Did you tell mom?
Yeah, she's upset, obviously, because
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
No, she's upset. I mean,
yeah, she wants it all to be dropped, which I understand, but
yeah.
unfortunately it's still active. So just put your phone up.
You got anything else on you?
Just my bracelets and the necklace.
Oh, put your hand back.
I spoke with my lawyers yesterday. They said not to talk to the deputies. Like I said, I had wanted to, and like I had asked to like speak to the deputies and have it recorded so that my words could be accurate for what was said. But then my lawyer said, like, you know, you're trying to do everything right, but you're not supposed to do that.
Okay.
So I don't really know what to do.
Well, I will tell you, I'm not going to give you any legal advice. I'm here to try and do a job. That job is the attempt to speak with you. If you don't want to speak with us, then you know that's your prerogative. You tell me now. If you do want to speak with us and give your side of events, that's totally up to you.
Okay, I guess it depends on like what it was in regards to.
I will tell you it's in regards to alleging that you were trying to hire a hitman.
Oh yeah. It's like I wanted to talk, like but my lawyers keep saying like not, like they just said not to, because it can get like twisted even if you're like trying to like explain something. So I don't know what to do. I guess they should follow their advice, but I just not used to all this.
I don't want you to feel pressured from us just because we're here. If you don't want to talk, by all means you don't. If you want to tell your side of the story and let your story be heard, what you know and your feelings and your perspective of things, then you're perfectly allowed to do that. And this would be the opportunity to tell law enforcement that. But if you don't want to, it's completely your choice.
Okay. Did you get like a sworn statement that I wrote about what happened?
From who? Who would you have given a statement?
Because here I was trying to talk like to the intelligence unit about it, so I don't know if that's the same thing.
They're definitely not the same thing as us.
What's the difference?
Well, we're detectives from the Alston County Sheriff's Office.
Oh, so
If you provided anything to them, that would be like corrections staff.
So, but like the lieutenant, is that also like a detective or? Because
Everybody here in this facility is actually separate from us.
Yeah.
It's two separate agencies. Osceola County Corrections and then Osceola County Sheriff's Office.
okay, because it was like, yeah, because I was trying to talk to them about what happened because it was like,
Well, they're actually part of the reason why we're here, because in a chain of events, they notify us, and then we take responsible action for investigating the whole case. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
So they're required to actually inform us, and then we follow through the investigation as well.
yeah.
They only go so far, and where they stop is when they give us the information. It's our responsibility to take that information and then do a full investigation. One of which, of course, requires speaking with you.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know what to do because it's like, so when I didn't talk, like in May 2020, which is when my charges were from, like I didn't talk to the investigator and then the charges ended up being put on me. And so I don't know if I would have talked to them and like shared my side story then if the charges would have been dropped. And so I just don't know. I feel like I still can't believe I'm here.
I understand.
So,
Well-
I know you can't give me legal advice because like you're like already investigating me, so it's just, I don't know what to do.
In my experience, and what you're kind of describing is the only person that can tell your story is you. If you want to reserve to tell that story, then that's up to you. If you don't want to share that story, then we go on what we have presented to us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But again, no pressure from law enforcement. I would read you Miranda. At any point in the conversation you want to stop, we can. Or if you don't want to start, then we want to get started. Is that fair? You tell me how you feel and what you would like to do.
Well, the charges were from 2020 and my lawyers, I'm still here, so maybe, I don't know, sometimes I think that their advice is not that good.
I think it depends on your lawyer.
I did want to talk to the investigator. I thought that like the intelligence unit was the same thing as like I was trying to talk to them. And I did want to talk to the investigator until like I heard from my lawyers yesterday. But I think I'll just go ahead and talk to you guys, and they can get on me later.
But I want to be clear that we by no means are compelling you to talk.
No, yeah, like this recording, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's clearly you haven't been rushing me anyway. Like you didn't say like
I want to make sure that, yes, we have a clear understanding that by no means, just because there's two of us, that's just how we do it. To make sure that there's two people, but I don't want you by any means to feel like you're pressured or anything like that. If you want to give a statement voluntarily, then by all means do so. If you don't, or if you want to stop it anymore, then we stop.
Okay.
Okay. The first thing I'm going to do, though, is since it is a criminal investigation, I'm going to read you Miranda rights. I know that you probably know those, but
In the movies, though, because every other time the police have never actually read them to me.
I'm going to read them, have you sign that you actually heard it and saw it. Fair? What's your name here?
Interrogation,
What's your date of birth?
August 10th, 1993.
All right. So, this is the Miranda form that we do. It says you have the right to remain silent. Do you understand? Anything you say may be used against you in court. Do you understand? You're entitled to talk to a lawyer before and during questioning. Do you understand?
Well, I don't have any money to call him, though.
But just so you have an understanding, you're entitled to talk to him anytime you want. I'm not going to stop you from talking to your lawyer. That's what that's saying. Okay.
I mean, you can Zoom him here, I guess.
I don't have the power to zoom in here.
I understand.
If you cannot afford a lawyer and want one will be provided beforehand or during question without charge. And I know that I think you may have paid for a lawyer, or is it public venue you're talking about?
It's two private attorneys.
Okay. But so you understand, like, the state offers a public defender free of charge, just so you know. That's what that's saying. You understand that? Okay. And that's it for you, Miranda. I'm just going to have you initially yes that you understand those, and then frame and sign. And I'll also frame and sign, okay?
It's the 23rd, right?
It is the 24th. 2/24, 2023. Time, it's like 11:01.
Close to lunch. What time is it lunch here?
Oh, usually 11, but they've been late a lot lately.
Kind of tell them getting the program.
Well, I thought it was a good sign at first because I thought it meant less people were being arrested, so less people were questioned, but then they said it was like an officer short staffing.
Oh, that's reassuring.
Any questions about that? No, it's kind of basic. You've probably heard those before, but you said this between us. What is this cell? Like, what is it, like a booking cell or a holding cell, or this isn't your cell? Is that what I understand?
Yeah, these are the holding cells, I guess, when you first come in here in this booking area. And I guess they also do interviews here.
Gotcha. So, for the record, we're in holding cell 5. That's what it looks like. The date today is February 24th, 2023. The time now is 11:02. Present for the interviews myself, Detective Denning, like I said, Detective Cowley, Miss Anara. Is it okay if I call you Anara? Or do you have a nickname you prefer?
No, that's okay. It's professional.
Yeah, Miss Anara. So we're here today regarding a criminal investigation that came across our desk, and like I explained the chain of events, corrections notified us about these allegations, and we're following up. If you can imagine, I know this was probably a little while ago, but based on all the cases and the different stuff that we do, the different work, it just took a little bit to get here and speak with you. So that's why there's a time lapse, because unfortunately people die in other cases and stuff like that.
I was confused because like the intelligence unit here had like told me that I was cleared. Like I didn't know what was going on or why I was investigated. Like I didn't find out until like I heard like what happened from other people, and then they had told me that I was clear, and then I went back to GP, and then I got moved to administrative confinement again.
Okay.
I wasn't sure.
For clarity, we don't have any association for their movements, like how they conduct their business, or I know GP is general population, but that's just because I know jail lingo, but we have no control over how they move you or where they move you or anybody else for that matter. Does that make sense? So I don't want you thinking that we have played a role in that, because I have no idea what they've done. I just know that this came up as an incident for us to investigate, and here we are. Took a little bit of time to get to you, but this is where we're at today.
All right.
So maybe you can kind of fill us in on your side of the events, or what you know about what has happened.
Oh yeah, like I said, I didn't really know what happened. Like I heard, but everything that I like overheard was hearsay. So like no one actually told me like for sure. It was just one of the. So I was in the general population area, and then like an inmate named Marabi one night, she came up to me and she called me a snitch and said she wanted to beat me up. Marabi. And then I told the officer about it, it was Ms. Rodriguez, and she called Corporal Hernandez, and then Corporal Thomas was there, and they decided to move me from the pod. Like I wasn't scared for my life, but like I was just letting the officer know that I was threatened, because I felt like that was the right thing to do. And then when Corporal Hernandez started talking, like, I started crying a little bit, and I wrote a sworn statement, and I said, you can see, like, on camera, like, I was literally just by my bunk, and then she came over to me, and just, like a straight up, just started threatening me, like completely unprovoked, walked across the pod. But anyway, so I wrote a sworn statement about that, and Corporal Hernandez decided to move me from general population. I went back to the intake cell, which is called Echo. I was there for a couple of days, and then they moved me to BG, which is where they do the people who are on disciplinary review, administrative confinement, and then they also have people like mental health problems there. So I was there for 2 days. When I was there, I wrote...
What month is this?
This is back in December, so this was approximately... I was moved to Pod on December 19th, and then I was in Echo for a couple days. I don't remember if it was like 2 or 3. And then I was moved to BG, and then they put me with an inmate named Rachel Cole. And when I got to the cell, like, it was really dirty. Like, there were gnats everywhere, and I talked to her a little bit, and she was like facing like an incompetency hearing, and so she's just like severely like mentally ill. And so I filed a grievance about like her living conditions. She also didn't have like underwear or a towel or like anything like that, so she hadn't like bathed in a really long time. So I filed a grievance on that, and then they took me to medical pod right after that, and they put a sign on the door that said, no inmate contact, no phone, no tablet. And then I was there from December 23rd to December 27th. And then they took me back to BG pod, but I was like by myself. And then I had asked to speak with the intelligence unit, like just regarding other things that were happening in the jail. And at that point, like after like a couple of weeks or so, I don't have the exact dates on me, Mr. Feliciano and Miss Legrand, like they told me, we just want to let you know, like you're cleared, there's like no investigation on you anymore. And I was like, well, thanks for letting me know, but I just no one told me what was going on. Like I didn't even know like what was going on. And so that was the perspective of like what happened like from my side of this. Then I went back to, I spent a little more time BG, then I went back to GP, and then I got moved again without them telling me like why. And then, then I got treated, for lice, and I spent some time in solitary in Bravo Charlie, and I don't know. I don't know if this is relevant anymore, but now
A very interesting stay.
yeah, now I'm back in BG, and I was told when I filed a grievance about it, they told me I was on administrative confinement, and now I'm like a house alone. So
That's a lot. I appreciate you giving us a little backstory. What we are looking into is allegations about murder for hire.
yeah, and
Where does that fit in among all those movements and stays?
well, I'm not sure, but I do know like from when I talked to my lawyer, he said like to not tell other inmates about anything because like they can just, I don't know, use stuff against you or try to concoct something, and like people try to exchange like information which is not even like accurate, but because they think it'll make them like look good or like help their case, or like it'll be like a positive note in their case or something like that, oh, this inmate was, whatever, like told something, or I don't know. And so I did like at some point, like I had talked about like myself like to the people in the pod, but I just don't, I don't know. But like I talked about like my case and my backstory, but like everything that I can think of like is just like I'm still like not really sure what happened.
Do you remember who in particular you talked to? Has there been a lot of people you opened up to, or just
No, I opened up to a lot of people because like I just felt like I shouldn't like be like ashamed about like my story, and just like I've been like really upfront about like how I've been trying to like prove my innocence in like court, and so like I told a lot of people just like about like what I'm going through in my story. So.
Did Intel tell you about the allegations?
No.
Or?
No, they never gave me any information at all, and they just said that I was cleared, and they said they were like, you know, thank you for your patience, like just for everyone's safety, like we have to investigate like any like allegations that were made against you. And then I told them about like that, and I understand. And after like the third time that I was wrongfully arrested, I actually got like my private investigator training. So like I don't know, like I told them like I want to help the jail,
Sure.
and that I wanted to talk to them about like the different like criminal activity that was happening in jail. Like there's been like officers and inmates making false sworn statements, not just like against me, which is I'm guessing like what happened. But again, I don't know for sure since it's just all been like hearsay. But it's like basically people in the jail have been using like complete hearsay, and unfortunately the cameras here don't have any audio, so they get away with it. Like all they have is like the physical footage, but without the audio. And so I talked to the officers once about it. Not about like the case because they said I was already cleared, but just about other like criminal activity, and just like about how people were threatening to beat me, rape me, and kill me, but then they were getting like the officers like who literally would like witness it and like sometimes cheer them on. They would then get them to like write a fake story about what happened, so it would seem like I was like the aggressor when I wasn't, or so it would seem like it happened to other people too, not just me. Like I made a friend here named Leslie Coffey, and she's been the victim of it multiple times too, where it's like, even though the camera footage like literally shows like that she's clearly defending herself from someone that is approaching her, like literally following her into the toilet or shower area, it's like the officer will write a statement like completely lying, disregarding like the footage that's even available. And so I talked to the intelligence unit about that. But yeah, we never regarding whatever I was investigating on, which I'm guessing like just from hearsay, was like the hitman thing. Like they had told me regarding that, like they were just like, thank you for your patience, we just want to let you know you're clear, you can go back to general population. That was all they said about it.
Do you know the allegations made against you by anybody, or anyone in particular that made these reports, or against you?
I don't, because I feel like everything is hearsay. So like no one in like authority ever told me what happened. So like I feel like that would be the source that I would trust. Like if it came from like the investigator himself, or if it came from, you know, Mr. Feliciano, who's the lieutenant in like the intelligence unit. And so just, you know, everything else is just like gossip and hearsay.
So you don't know directly that anyone made an accusation against you, or you do know?
No, I don't actually know. Like I'm just like I can like guess, like, you know, just like based on like I studied psychology in the past, and like I said, I took the private investigator training, and so like I can like sort of maybe guess what happened, but I just don't know like for sure, like unless like the officer, the investigator, that person that is specifically like telling me like what happened, then I don't know for sure what happened.
Okay. So any kind of crime that occurs in the jail, even down to like another inmate touching another inmate, like battering, and then if you can imagine, the jail staff doesn't have the power to do anything criminally. They actually call the sheriff's office to investigate it. Does that make sense? So that's where we came in. There were some allegations made specifically against you, and we've come to try and investigate those, verify them, or, whatever the case is. The allegation made against you, I'll just be frank, because it sounds like you're looking for one person to tell you, and I'm going to be that person, okay? The allegations made against you is that you were looking to hire somebody to kill your parents and your grandparents.
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar, or does that sound right?
Well, that's my case, which I've been like forthcoming about with multiple people, was that, so going back to like why I was arrested, because I had never been like arrested before in my life until like what happened in 2019. So what happened was like I had like reported I reported my father for pedophilia, and this was back in October 2019, and I actually met with investigators, but I was told that then another officer told me like, no, that was like Paw Patrol. But like I spoke with them 3 times about it, and I specifically said, like, I'm reporting this and my family is threatening to create like false allegations about my character as a way, like as a retaliatory act in order like to smear, so that way no one will believe me. And so that's what I had already told the investigator from Paw Patrol. I don't quite know like all the differences between the rankings or whatever, but like it was.
You said investigator who?
I don't know. I thought it was an investigator because I didn't know that much about like police or like rankings and stuff. But then when I spoke to like an officer here like about what happened, because I had said I had spoken like before I had ever gotten arrested, like I had spoken to the police 3 times and I thought it was an investigator, but then they said no, that was probably just Paw Patrol, which is like do you know like the people that go like when you make a call. They said Paw Patrol is like when you make a call to someone, but then they like the officer that comes to the door is not actually like an investigator level. That it's like it's just an officer that when you call 911 right away, and it's not like a
Patrol officer.
yeah when it's not like a murder or like a rape or something that needs to be like full gear like going in like right away. And so they said I had spoken to.
So you spoke like somebody in uniform?
Yes.
Okay.
And so that happened like 3 times because it was like I had reported my father and then after that I followed up with them again, and then I just don't quite remember like the exact dates, but my lawyer also has the information, so he was trying to contact Osceola County to see if they had the record of that. But yeah, so I told him, and that that my family was trying to pretend that like I was a murderer, and so that was like their defense, and they were trying to pretend that I was psychotic, and that they were saying like she has a history of hallucinations, which is not true, like that's just not in my medical or psychiatric record or anything like that. But that was like their defense, and so they were trying to like smear me like as like a violent person.
Your parents.
In retaliation because I reported my father. Yeah.
What's your father's name?
Eric Ramo.
Is your mom still with you?
I don't know. I don't speak to them at all. Like,
And she's still alive. Is what
I mean, the last I heard,
What's her name?
Sharon Ramo. But yeah, and so that was my story that I've been open about here. I've been saying, you have but trying to be inspirational with other people, and like trying to say like, stand up for the truth. Like if you like don't like, because there's some people here that like they're also innocent, and I've been telling them, I was like, don't plead guilty. Like try to like clear your name, and yeah, and everyone thinks I'm crazy because the prosecutor had offered to drop everything a year ago. And he was like, just plead guilty to 1 count of disorderly conduct and no jail time, no probation will make this go away. And I was like, well, no, I want to completely clear my name. And so
There's a prosecutor in the case.
it was someone named Peter Francis Donnelly, but my lawyers yesterday said that he was replaced by someone named Gabe Lozano. But that they don't have like more. Like they don't have any more details on that, but they said that my case was was transferred.
Or where?
So, he said something about it being transferred to Lake County.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's where I was from. That's where I grew up. Well, sort of. The house was in Lake County, but then like I went to school in the Villages, and so everything I did was in the Villages, which was Sumter County. But yeah, so I've been like forthcoming with my story about how like that specific one was like my family's defense was to like falsely smear me as a murderer, as a defense for you know what I was trying to expose to the police. So, yeah.
Yeah, grandparents.
I did, yeah.
Deceased.
No,
I did, like they're gone, passed.
no, they're alive. At least the last day that they were alive.
What makes you upset about talking about them, if you don't mind me asking?
Like, I miss them. Like, I miss them because I felt like more close to my grandparents. But I just like, I can't talk to anyone in my family anymore because it's like I have to, you know, I have to clear my name and just, you know, they also knew about like what was going on like with my father and like my mother, and just they witnessed it also. But it's just like every single person in the family is like withholding information, and so it's like I'm the one who has to like expose this all by myself. And so it's like they enabled what happened like with their silence.
Sure.
So
I feel like it's like you against them.
I feel like it's just I don't like I love them and I don't feel against them. It's like me like just trying to bring the truth to light, and I just feel like I have to. I don't know, like I can't be in contact with anyone from the past anymore. I'm just like out of like self-respect, and like that even includes my grandparents, because just like the fact that they knew it and they were the ones that actually witnessed it, like my father's misbehavior with their own eyes. And this goes back to 25 years ago, that it's like been this family secret. And
How old are you?
29. Yeah. But I didn't know about it. That was the thing, is that like, again, I was like, I had my suspicions, and like my parents like were very, like, they were creepy like with me, but like I wasn't the one that they tried anything with. Like that was, I don't know, it feels like weird, like telling the story for my siblings, but it was like they had victimized my siblings, and so it was like they had it way worse. And so I guess like I expected that they would like, you know, like stand behind me. And that was supposed to be what happened, was because like I reported it, that my father had been having sex with little girls in the family, and that. And my mother too, like they had molested my younger sister Madeline. And so I told, like, this is, now it's like making full circle to when I got arrested for domestic violence. Like I told my sister that I had been, that it was finally, you know, it's time to stand up, and, you know, I didn't know that was happening to her. And I didn't know about what my father was up to, but it was like everyone knew, like except me. And so I told her I was going to report it, and then she just had to, you know, stand behind me, and I would take care of it. But then it was like she flipped and like was like, stop talking about it, and then she like turned on their side, and that was when like she falsely accused me of violence. And so it was like she flipped on me, and so yeah, it's just been me trying to expose all this. I don't know. I feel like there's like a lot of elements, but it's just like I don't know how to answer it unless it's like a specific question. But yeah, that is the whole point, is that they were trying to smear me as a murderer and as like a psychotic hallucinator as like their defense for everything. So yeah.
So I mentioned the allegation is the allegations that you were looking to hire somebody to kill your mother or kill your father and your grandparents. And your response is explaining that there's some kind of sexual past with your father where he was involved in pedophilia. But how about answering the allegation that you made, that they're making against you, rather?
Oh yeah, well,
you hired somebody.
Yeah, well, that was what I went to that's what I went to the police about, like back in October, like it was October 2019, like before I got arrested for the first time ever, because I was telling them that my father's a pedophile, like I'm trying to report this and report like child abuse and finally like bring all this to light. I was like, I didn't know about it until my sister told me about it and other family members confirmed it, but they had started threatening me at the same time and saying, stop talking, like don't talk unless you they literally said, we will ruin your life. And they kept saying they were going to make me homeless. They were going to give me a fake criminal record. Because like I said, I had never been arrested before. So they said that was their plan, to give me a fake criminal record so that way I wouldn't be able to get a job. And so that way, like, no one would believe me about what I was trying to report. So it was like I already had told the police about this, is that they were trying to, like, that was their main defense, that they were trying to smear me as a murderer. And so that's I've been open about that, about my case with, and I told people here in jail about that. Like that's literally their defense, is that they're trying to smear me as a murderer.
Because there's more than one inmate that came forward and said, this is what Inara told me. And ultimately, it's that she wants her family to be murdered.
Yeah, no, that's not true, because part of what I think the best strategy is for proving my innocence is for them to be forced to testify. And so that can't happen, obviously, if they're dead. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I'm a perfect person. I'm just like, oh, it's all like lovely and wonderful. Like, people try to use, like, I'm a Buddhist, and people try to use my faith against me, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm at that level where I'm just like, oh, I don't mind the fact that not only that my family was abusive to me, but that when I try to stand up for myself, and now they're like putting false allegations on me. Like, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm just like this about all that. Like, do I have feelings about it? Yeah, like I do have like feelings about it, but like what I want is for them to be forced to testify, like
like your parents or?
But yeah, like my whole family, because if they're forced to testify and forced to tell the truth under oath or face a penalty for it, then the truth will come to light, because all of them, like, they all know that it's true. And so that's what I ultimately want. And then their defense is just to be like, oh, she's a psychotic murderer and she has a history of hallucination, so you can't believe her about any of the abuse stuff. And so yeah, that's their defense against me, is trying to smear me as a murderer.
So if I'm understanding, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Are you saying the complaints that came from this jail are a result of your parents?
No, I don't know what they're a result from, but yeah, I've been open about how this all goes back to me trying to expose things back from like October 2019, and how the allegations against me were completely retaliatory, and I've said like that was the crux of their defense, was that they were trying to smear me as a murderer. And so my guess about what happened, although I'm not sure, is like, because I've been so open about that story, is that people that didn't like me were like, oh, let's back up that like the whole thing and like make it seem like it's true, like to try to like spoil my case.
Why would they do that?
I mean, people that don't like other people for whatever reason.
So that they would fabricate this story for no gain?
I mean, that's what I was trying to figure out, actually. And when I spoke to my lawyer about it yesterday, that's when he said like that. He said that like the government and just like the police and the prosecutor's office is corrupt, and that what they do sometimes is that they'll have people that will act as like informants, and sometimes it's like a false informant, and then they'll use the hearsay of multiple people as a form of evidence.
I'm sorry, do you think this is something where they should be investigating for false statement?
Absolutely. Well, that's what I was trying to tell intelligence, and then they were just saying that that they would get back to me, that they were like reviewing everything, and I told the corporal, and I filed a grievance about it. Then my lawyer had said that since the crime happened within the jail, like that, if intelligence wants to speak with you, then they would follow up with that. But that's what I've been saying from the beginning, is that the people who have accused me from the very beginning need to be charged like with false reporting of a crime, or like whatever it's called. But every person that does like wrong is like protected here. Like, I don't know if you have access to like what happened to me like on January 11th, like when I was attacked in the facility, but it was like literally, even when the camera proves that you're telling the truth. So I was attacked by that inmate that I mentioned earlier, and I've said a lot of things, but the one who's incompetent, but it was like, you can literally see us on camera that we were trying to get the officers help, because I used to work in the mental health field, there's like about to be a crisis here, like she wants to go to the medical pod because she's on wrong medication. She feels she's seeing things, like either she needs to go to the medical pod or I need to go to the medical pod because there's about to be she's like about to flip out right now. And so you could see me like on camera trying to like tell them that, and like we didn't have any sort of argument. We were both trying to get help. And even like in spite of, you can see me telling them, it was just like some of the officers like tried to like blame me, and I said I wanted to press charges against the deputies for failure to act and for lying like unofficial statements, which again the camera footage will show was we were telling the truth. But it's like, even when there is that evidence, it just seems like there's this recurring pattern that I didn't know about, because I had never like had any issues with the law before 2019. And so like I don't know like what to do, but if there is a way, yes, to prosecute for false reporting crime, that's what I've been wanting from 2019. So, yeah.
So one of the things to help figure out like if a person is telling the truth when it comes to false reports is obviously verify them, and listen to the different accounts of what people are saying. In this particular case, the accounts from the different reporters, like they're saying the same thing.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And when we do an investigation, I think sometimes that proves validity into their statements.
Or it proves coordinated conspiracy. And I told my lawyer, I admitted it. I was like, I messed up. Like when I came here, because I was like very like, I've been open with my story, and I've been open about like what my parents' like plan was like for smearing my credibility. And so it's like that. I literally, it was like offering like kind of like on a silver platter to anyone that wants to like whatever retaliate for whatever personal reason, I don't know, or they might have. Assuming it's not part of a larger conspiracy, but.
Right. But usually when people, and this is not all the time, but a typical conspiracy is a group of two or more conspiring, but for some kind of achievement, some kind of goal, some kind of gain, whether it's like you're saying, like to smear a name, or maybe it's, I don't know, it's money or whatever it could be, I don't know. But in this particular case, the information that we're receiving, there's no benefit for it. It's just people reporting this is what happened.
Well, another thing that I had mentioned is that once my name gets cleared, that I'm going to win like a lawsuit because so going back to the charges that are against me right now, which are the stalking, written threats to kill, like that we literally have like hard evidence, like as in like subpoena and computer evidence that completely like clears my name. And so I was just saying, and my lawyer had actually shown that to the state attorney and to the assistant state attorney and the actual state attorney. So like Monique Worrell, like wanted to try, and so in spite of him like showing her like that hard evidence and also evidence of the people that accused me literally laughing and bragging about it and doing TikTok dances like on social media, that in spite of like showing all that to her, like they kept the charges on me despite the fact that there was literally no evidence on it. And so I was talking about how I wanted to sue, and then it was basically going to be like an automatic win. And then I also spoke about how I wanted to sue the Walt Disney Company because that was where some of the people worked. So I wanted to like sue for them creating like a harmful work environment. And so yeah.
You mentioned computers and stuff like that. Are you pretty good with computers?
No, I'm like awful with technology because I also don't really believe in it. Actually, there's like one of the bookmarks in my Bible is technology is the knack of using the world so you don't experience it. And so I think technology actually brings us farther apart instead of closer together. So I
would agree in many ways. We've dehumanized because of technology.
Mm-hmm.
The stalking stuff, and you mentioned the threats. Was that like handwritten stuff, or was it like electronic, like alleged through the computer or whatever? In your case,
oh yeah,
I think it was like over online or something, or
yeah, like it was alleged like through the computer, but like I said. My lawyer kept like, I'm not worried about talking about this because it's like you can't like dispute the actual like hard evidence or whatever, but it's just like it literally has like the hard evidence like where it was like the accounts that they used my name and my picture, but if you actually look at like when the account was created and like where it traces back to, it wasn't me. Like there was like three accounts that were in my name at one time.
So I've worked economic crimes, like fraud crimes, a little bit. And are you familiar with VPNs?
I learned about it because of everything that happened. Yeah, a VPN was used.
What's a VPN?
It stands for Virtual Private Network, and what it does is that it disguises your IP address. The IP address being like the ID tag of a device.
Gotcha. Have you ever used a VPN?
I did start using one before, like when I found out like what one was, but
what would you use it for?
what would I? Well, that was why I ended up stopping paying for one because like I was like I don't have any like reason to use it, like because like when I would, I'm like really boring, like.
Sorry, what's the whole purpose for using them? Why would somebody use it? Out of curiosity.
Well, people like, so what I have heard is that people say that like companies that they use like your IP address as a way to track like your activity, and so it's like a way that they put cookies on your computer, and so it just like it creates like a profile of you that can be used to target advertisements against you. But then I was actually thinking about it and I said to myself, that's not bad. Like if someone, I don't know, because I have like really I don't know, like particular interests. So it's like if someone is like recommending me, like if I see, I don't know, like specific things that I'm into, like I don't feel like that's bad, but then that's like the reason why like most people use them, but then they can also be used like, you know, to hide someone's like footsteps if they're like engaging in some kind of criminal activity. But the reason that most people use them is because like the advertiser thing. But I don't, like that's like the extent of.
So essentially, if I'm understanding correctly, it's a kind of a way to hide, whether it be from advertisers or kind of like hide criminal activity, just a way of kind of like masking almost.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, you all must like already know like what it is, like what a VPN is. But yeah, that's like the extent of my understanding about it.
Who did you use as a VPN? What service did you use?
I don't remember, but I mean, if y'all needed like something like that to like clear my name or anything like that, like that, yeah, that could be like, yeah, I don't remember because like I when I started using one, it was like I researched like a lot of different ones, and then it was like I don't know. Now I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble because it was like I found out like, about the VPNs because of my case, and then I was like, oh, well, VPN, that sounds like a thing, mask your activity, and now it's like I'm gonna be like in trouble because now it's like, oh, like if I said I used one, now it's gonna be used against me. And
That's a paid service. Anybody can, just like you said, can get a VPN.
There's legitimate uses for them too. It's like you mentioned, hiding and like blocking from advertisement tracking and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Talk about something 5 minutes later, you're seeing ads for them over everything. Stuff's weird.
Yeah. Well, actually, though, my lawyer, I think that he had said that they had actually contacted the or like whatever VPN was like used like to make like the accounts like in my name, like they actually had like because he had said that there were like multiple subpoenas, so he said like they went back all the way to the beginning or of whatever, like to completely like clear my name. So he has that like that hard evidence because it was like they had used like the VPN and then also a burner phone and a false email address, and so he like went all the way like through with whatever like multiple rounds of subpoenas like to completely like
Perfect.
to clear me. So
That's good. That's good.
yeah, but so yeah, after I found out like what like a VPN was, I was just like, then I was like, oh, that sounds like something, you know. But then I actually started thinking, because I've been like really like paranoid, and so I was like, well, if I use one, then it'll seem like more like suspicious, even if it's like you're just trying to use it like for non-suspicious purposes, because then it seems like you have something to hide. And so that was like part of it.
I can see how someone might think that.
Yeah, and so that's why I was just like, no, you can see like you can look at everything that I look at. It's like,
Is it a free service, the one you did, or is it one you have to pay for?
no, I honestly like I don't no, it was a paid one, but I honestly don't remember because like I literally like looked up so many like different ones.
Sure.
Yeah.
You
So
mentioned the name Peter Francis Donnelly. Mm-hmm. Did you ever research that name?
my prosecutor? Yeah, I think I Googled him before.
Okay. What would be the purpose for that?
Well, I just was curious about who this person is that is claiming a monopoly like on my character, and I was just curious, but
What else did you research about him?
that was it. I mean, he doesn't have nothing popped up like except for like the lawyer page. that is like on the state attorney's website.
Did you find out anything else about him?
No.
When you do your searches, is that part of the VPN during the search? So that's untraceable, or how does that work?
I don't remember.
Or maybe a more clear question would be, when you're doing those searches, is it like under your own computer, or is it using a VPN?
Well, the VPN was part of the computer.
So would you be operating under a VPN at that time or not? Like untrackable, the ideas, or what?
Like I honestly don't remember. Like I had used one for a little while, but then I said like, one, that it was like a waste of money, and like two, that I didn't have anything to hide anyway, and then three, also like, you know, I have like unique interests, and so it's like if someone is like actually advertising me something that I'm interested in, that I wouldn't really mind that. So it was like I stopped using one, so I can't honestly like remember or say like whether I had looked it up while I did one or whether or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember researching anything else under his name?
No, I just like I had like Googled him before, and then like nothing popped up except his state attorney's page, and then I was just like, I don't know. Like, it feels like weird, like to be like accused, and then it's just like this person that like doesn't even know you. It's just like has all this like power, and I don't know. That's why I was just curious about who he was.
Sure. You feel that he's using his power appropriately or inappropriately?
No, I mean, it's like, it's part of the democratic process, but I just felt like, because of like the fact that the evidence like literally like clears me, that it was just like he was veering on like the edge of like criminal activity. And at some point I was just curious, and I even told my lawyer, I was like, I wish like I could talk to this guy like myself and like give him a piece of my mind. But yeah, so I was just curious about who he was. But
Good. Did that search lead to any other searches regarding him?
no, I mean, I Googled him, and like I said, the state attorney's page that has like information about like the lawyers that work with him, like that popped up, but there wasn't anything else that popped up.
Well, I think I gotta ask you directly, did you attempt to hire somebody to kill your father and your grandparents?
No. Like I said, that's like the crux of like their defense against me, so that way like I wouldn't like no one would believe me about what I was trying to report, and I made a mistake by being open with other people and like thinking that I was being inspirational by telling people about like what I was going through. And I don't know like how much am I supposed to like talk, because I can like keep talking, or just I don't know if you have like any more specific questions.
Anything you'd like to address specifically? Let me think for 1 minute, make sure we get everything. What do y'all do for lunch today? Did they tell you?
I don't know. We don't know beforehand.
They don't give you like a week's menu or anything?
Well, it's supposed to be like on the wall, but like it's not accurate. But I know some inmates like kind of figured out what is supposed to be for lunch, or they have like the schedule figured out in their head. But I don't personally know what it's gonna be. But
Did you ever correspond via email or any other way with Peter,
no,
state attorney?
no. I asked my lawyer to, though, because I said that I had told my lawyers that I wanted them to talk to the prosecutors like through email as much as possible, for that way, like for the hard record, like proof of like what was said. But yeah.
Gotcha. Tell me about William Kaufman.
Oh, he's one of the witnesses in the case.
How so?
Some of the people that had threatened me, that they were posting comments on his blog, and so he has like that, like some of the things that they had admitted were like on his blog, and so yeah, he's like a witness. I guess my own lawyers want him to testify.
So I actually talked to William, and basically he said he would not be testifying on your behalf. He actually described me as kind of like out there.
Me?
Like into conspiracy theories and a little bit crazy. I'm not trying to be offensive to you, but that's the way he described you.
That's him. Like he's very into like into conspiracy theories. It's just like that's what his blog is all about.
Right.
Is about like government.
He kind of alleged that you were using VPNs and you were making accounts and you were harassing him.
No, I feel like he's trying to get himself out of trouble because he has like a really short temper, and he like, oh God. Well, according to my lawyer, he is testifying.
I told him just the other day.
Well,
I'm just telling you, he told me. I'm not trying to like contradict what your attorney would say, but maybe he's telling two people different things. I don't know.
no, like, have you seen his blog?
He took it down.
Okay, so
Expatriate, something like that.
big country expert. So
Yeah.
he's actually really extremely into conspiracy theories. It's funny that he's trying to point the blame on me. I'm an evidence person, and so some things like haven't like proven true. Like for example, like just to throw out one simple example, like Martin Luther King Jr. like was assassinated, and so that John F. Kennedy was assassinated, and so that is like proof of certain like conspiratorial things that happen in the government, and like the government does hide things. I have an attitude about it. If like I like to go where the evidence points, but then at the same time, if you can't prove it, like then it comes down to it's a hearsay thing. Not everyone in the government is bad, but it's just unless you are their person, like you don't know what to believe. He is all the way into conspiracy theories, like because so his blog was absolutely like out there to the point of like pro-Hitler stuff. And so because he was a former veteran, he used to be in the Navy SEALs. And so this is according to his blog, because I used to follow his blog a little bit, but Yeah, he just, I don't even understand like some of the conspiracies, like, cause I'm not like at that level, but he said that he was like a Navy SEAL and that he's like seen like certain things like with his own eyes, like, and like his blog was like a lot about like mind control, just like secret sort of government, like it's things I don't really understand, but just like secret killings or something that were happening, like in the military or like Afghanistan or something like that. And so, yeah, I don't know what to say because he's totally into conspiracies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's important to be a person of integrity?
Mm-hmm. That's, as I say in the movie, like V for Vendetta, it says our integrity sells for so little, but it's all we really have. It's the very last inch of us, but within that inch we are free. And that's why even though like I'm in jail and like I could have like pleaded my way out with a disorderly conduct like a year ago, like I've stayed because I just felt like it was like the right thing to do, so that way the real wrongdoers can like be exposed.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a very painful question that could tell on your integrity or not. Did you ever harass State Attorney Peter Donald via email or sending subscriptions to him?
No.
That was the most unconfident no I've ever heard.
Well, I'm kind of concerned now that that William is.
Even in the little bit of time we've been talking to you, right, you're a very confident person. It's easy to tell when you're very comfortable with what you're saying, which makes it just as easy to tell when you're not. I think you're a good person. I think it's in your heart to tell the truth. And we're kind of watching you struggle a little bit right now.
No, I know because like. I told my lawyers about this already. So William, like, he is a very like unhinged person, and I don't like you can like look at any records that like you need to like on me, but
We already have. That's why we're to this point in the scenario.
yeah.
Some of the questions I'm asking is because we already know the truth. Okay. Did you ever send State Attorney Peter Donald any harassing emails?
No.
Or any other type of electronic communication?
I've never spoken to him to my knowledge.
What about communicating with him in any type of way?
Not to my knowledge. Like it feels like I'm being. It feels like I'm being like set up.
Interviewed?
No, not with the interview, and not with you all. It's like because I want to. I already told my lawyers about this. Like I wanted to tell. I don't know. Like I don't want to get like, I don't know. It's like anything that you say can be used against you, even if you're telling the truth,
Yes.
or if you're telling what you perceive or understand to be the truth.
I'll make that very clear. Anything you say can be used against you.
Yeah. So
Did you ever, aside from the emails or anything like that, did you further research State Attorney Peter Hindley more than Google?
not. I mean, to my knowledge, like.
Do you know his address?
All right. William at one point had said that he had made comments that he had wanted to like kill people. But like that was him like popping off with his like mental illness, and not because like I told him to make people. And I told my lawyer about that, and that he had his own sort of like campaign going on in regards to just his perception of everything, and like he felt that everything was like part of the conspiracy with what was going on in my case. And just like the fact that we had shown the state attorney, the assistant state attorney and the state attorney, that we had literally like shown them like the hard evidence, but they neglected it. And so.
What is the hard evidence though? Is the hard evidence something with William or?
Part of it was like what was from William, and then combined with things that were taken from their social media accounts. So it was like both.
I'm left a little confused. How does William tie into this? How are you alleging he's involved with like researching people, or where does William fit in?
Like he researching people. Like he had his own like campaign going, because like my case, because like I said, he's extremely like government conspiracy, and so like my case basically checked like a bunch of boxes for him, I guess. And so he had his own idea about how it fit into like a larger like government conspiracy. And so he was researching people, and then he would post about it on his blog. And they had like their own, like the people on his blog had their own sort of like troll campaign going, where it was like an internet war with people, which included the prosecutor possibly, and so
Possibly, but you don't know.
well, I stopped looking at like the stuff he was posting.
Well, can you give us an idea of what he's posting? Is it about?
Yeah, like, well, he was like, so he was finding the address of people's houses and like putting like targets on them, and things like that.
Did he do that for anyone that you knew?
I didn't know the person, but it was like I guess the friend of someone that had accused me, and he claimed that he knew some people in the government or in law enforcement or both that had like secret intel knowledge that like behind the scenes, like he claimed that there were all these things happening with like me behind the scenes, that but like so he he claimed that there was like a part of the government where it's like for like technological things that he could trace or like confuse like connections like from a very like deep like computer like level, and he claimed that he had people that had like put a trace on different people's connections, that there was some sort of like high clearance people that he knew because of the time when he was like a Navy SEAL.
So circling back to his question regarding communication with State Attorney Peter Donnelly's email, did he have involvement in that?
I don't know, but that's why the question kind of like makes me worried was due because.
Well, so the reason I asked that is you brought him up. When we asked you that, you kind of deflected and brought him up. I'm just curious, is there a reason you did that, or are you avoiding answering the question?
Well, that was like why I was. That's why I like kind of like worried about that, because he had talked about like how he like because of something that had to do with when he was like a Navy SEAL or like a veteran or like has like top security clearances, like he was talking about like behind the scenes like computer things that could be used to put sort of like a false connection on someone. And
A false connection, what does that mean?
like to try to make it seem like something was coming from one place when it was actually coming from like a different place. And he claimed to have people at like these like some kind of top security clearance, and he claimed that he was that he had the power to get inside of someone's computer connection.
Did he ever mention Peter Donnelly's name?
Yeah, he talks about the prosecutor on his blog.
Was that like discussions you guys had, or did you bring him up, or did he bring him up?
No, it wasn't me. It was like the stuff that he was posting. It was like for his readers, and they like I said, his blog is like he's not actually because I used to be liberal, and then I started like educating myself more, and I started following all these like what you would call like conservative blogs, like libertarian. And so he is like one of the blogs I followed at one point, but he's not actually conservative. He's like anti-government. So there were some similarities with this blog, but it was also it was much farther than that. It was like to the point of like Hitler and like pro-fascism and like doing things like outside the law. And so at one point, yeah, he was talking about like they were talking about the prosecutor and just like the whole like how it reflects as like part of a larger like government sort of like oppression, and yeah, so I mean he like literally he posted like many times about it, and so they would just like kind of like talk about like me like a little bit, but then just like complain and like relate to how like, oh, this is one example of a larger like government oppression. And then he had talked about at one point about how he knew some kind of people that had like some kind of top like security clearance, and that they had.
I'm going to come back to a part where he mentioned that he put targets on people's houses. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so he claimed it was like a troll post.
What does that mean exactly?
Like a troll is like when someone says something, but it's like a joke, but
A joke like something funny, or just something, like is it something that they would laugh at?
Yeah, it's supposed to be humorous or like ironic in a sense.
Okay. So I mean, that could be two different things. Like I can definitely see irony in something, but maybe not necessarily find it funny.
Like not laugh out loud. Like, yeah, that's the language of the internet, which I feel like it's evolving into a new thing with just the way that people perceive and post and the sense of humor online. But like regarding the targets, yeah, he had like found like certain people that were connected to my case or that he felt were behind the scenes connected to my case, and like he would like posted about them.
So was he putting a physical target on their house?
Yeah, like in the computer.
Okay, so he wasn't putting like a piece of paper on the house. I'm just clarifying. Was he ever at the houses, or was everything through the computer?
To my knowledge, he was not at the houses.
Okay.
I don't.
Well, because you said he put a target on the house. I'm not sure if like you're taping a target to the house, or if you're like, when you say target, what does that mean?
No, like through the computer, like in the Photoshop or whatever, like putting like this is someone's house and like putting a target on it.
Okay. And what is the purpose of that? Why would he do that? What's the desired outcome?
Well, that was the thing, is that he was like talking about like killing people.
Like the people with the targets on their house?
Yeah, like the language that he was using was veering towards that way, because it was like he would talk about how he was like, I had 6 kills in Afghanistan or whatever. Like he just kept saying he had 6 kills, and then the people on his blog, like the readers or whatever, would comment on it and chime in and be like, it's time, like, take the government down. And they have like a bunch of people, like I follow politics, but like not to the sort of like extent that they do, and like not in the military sense. So I didn't always know who they were talking about. But it was like he would float my name into it sometimes. And
so Assistant State Attorney Peter Donnelly's house was one of those houses?
Not that I saw, but he spoke of Mr. Donnelly like in a derogatory manner. Yeah.
Is that because of the information you gave him?
I barely talked to William. Like he tried to like he wanted me to send him like sexual pictures.
Is that a form of payment or what?
No, I'll say I've never tried to like hire him, and that was what I told, like that's what I was like trying to tell my lawyer, and I was saying like, do we have to like report William? But he didn't feel like, he felt like he was just like popping off and not to the point. Like he didn't feel like it was, like he didn't take it seriously. Like my lawyer, like when I told him about it, he was just like when I would bring up one, he would just say, don't worry about it. But he just is very like temperamental, and so he would like talk about making heads roll, and then he would like put these like dramatic posts on his blog, and then a few times he would ask me like for sexy pictures, but it wasn't like related to any sort of payment or whatever. It was just like he like a drunk email, and I never sent him anything anyway.
Sure.
But
So do you know where Peter Francis Donnelly lives or no?
I don't know.
You know where he went to school? College?
I remember it was on the lawyer page, but I don't remember if it was like, he went to school in Florida.
You know anything else about him?
He doesn't have much of the online footprint that I've found.
Is there anything you knew but have since forgotten? Like some details, like maybe an address or something like that, or like if we asked you like, hey, do you know what the address is? You're like, no, I can't remember anymore, but I saw it at one point.
Yeah.
Is there anything perhaps we haven't asked you that you think is beneficial to us understanding this entire investigation? It sounds to me, and I don't want to put like words in your mouth, but it sounds to me that you think that maybe your parents are somehow a motivation behind this whole thing.
What do you mean?
The allegations that you hired someone to kill them, you think that stems from your parents?
Like, oh, like regarding
Like hiring someone to actually kill them?
well, yeah, because that's like, I guess, I mean, that's been what I've been saying since like October 2019, was that I reported them, and then they kept telling me that they would ruin my life, that they would make me homeless, and all these other, like, they kept saying make me homeless over and over again, and then they said that they would purposely give me a criminal record, because like if you look into me, like I never had a criminal record before any of this happened, because they specifically said like, oh, if you have a criminal record then you won't be able to get a job. Like that was like their plan, like to smear me as a murderer. And so that was like what I was trying to bring the attention to the attention of the Osceola County Sheriff's Department. I thought I spoke to the investigator, but like I said, when I told one of the officers here like, about my story, like they had said something about no, that it's not an investigator, that's the Paw Patrol. But
Do you know if your parents have an insurance policy, life insurance?
no, I don't know anything about that.
If they lost their lives, who would inherit their land? Who would inherit their home?
I don't know. My parents, they've always had fights about money. Actually, specifically, I remember a fight a long time ago, was that my mother and father got into a fight because during the housing recession, the housing crisis, I think it was like 2008 or 2010 or whatever, they had an argument because my mother didn't put life insurance on my father because she became the breadwinner at that point. And I remember them having like all these, traumatic like childhood memory parents arguments, and I remember it was like a big argument that she wouldn't put life insurance like on my father or whatever. But no, I just know that money was like always something that they have like argued about, and they've always had this battle with separate accounts, or like they would like take out like different bank accounts like to make each other mad. But yeah.
So you don't know who would inherit the house?
I mean, my guess is, I mean, they're like really shady with their money, but I've always felt like the way things were going to end with them was that it would end up being something that had to, like their final arguments, I've always suspected in their relationship would end up being about money, and I've always felt like they would battle each other for the house, because that was one of the main things they used to argue about growing up. Was my mother would say like, "Oh, you want my house to my father," and he would always say, "No, I don't care how much money I put into this house. Like you can have it. It's not worth arguing with you about." So yeah, whenever their toxic relationship eventually ends, yeah, like the house will be something that they argue about.
Yeah, siblings.
Yes, I have a older half sister, and then I have 2 younger sisters and then a younger brother.
Where's the house at? What city?
It's in Albion Hills.
Where do your grandparents live?
They also live in Albion Hills.
Is it are they like anywhere near each other? Are they opposite sides of town? Or?
They live next door to each other.
Anything else? Does that have to go? Have you been honest with us? You're shaking your head, yeah, for the record. I tell you what, let's do this. Can you raise your right hand? Do you swear that everything you said is the whole truth and nothing but the truth to the best of your ability?
I swear that everything I said is the whole truth, to the best of my ability.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to conclude this interview. It is still the 24th of February. The time now is 12:21.
Chiregu Ayinaru was sentenced to 30 months in prison with 8 years of supervised probation. Thanks for watching. Paw Patrol.